Welcome, leaders, teams, and those ready to take charge of their energy. It's Kelly Buboltz, your guide in workforce energy management. Burnout is not just a buzzword, it's a symptom of deeper root cause stressors. We're here to stop waiting for the change and start leading it. It's time to reclaim our energy and lead our days with intention and purpose. Let's talk about building trust, because when I go into workforce energy management programs and we talk about the good boss, the bad boss, things teams in the past have done to break our trust, it's a pretty triggering conversation. And I find out that this is why we communicate in certain ways and not in ways maybe that we want to. This is why we won't reestablish certain relationships with certain type of positions. This is why certain people don't like operations or HR or supervisors in general, right? It kind of grooms a natural bias in us when someone breaks our trust. It can take you a lifetime to build trust, and it takes you one event to break it. So really understanding who is in your organization, who's in your specific team is going to be important, because when you build or break the trust, it's very specific to their work styles. So let's dig right in. D's are our dominants, and what they're looking for is efficiency, autonomy, and confidence in their abilities. So how you build trust is taking action and doing it in a way that it has some urgency to it. Now, some things take time, so that means you might have to break it up to micro moments to prove that progress, and that is seen just as urgent. But showing that you are acting on it is also showing competence to them. Because at the end of the day, what Reds, our dominants, want is results. They want the win. When you're looking at what can build trust in our dominance, it's trust that and confidence that they can do it, that they have the skill sets to do it, and room to fly, room to experiment, explore with that. And that also is showing commitment to their skill set, that they can get it done. They also want follow through and follow up quickly. It doesn't mean that it has to be rushed, but it means no fluff. You know, the long-winded emails, not for them. They want to go in with clarity. What is the result, where we're at, and then they want to get out. So that means what breaks trust is the complete opposite. Indecisions, just talking about it over and over again, lack of urgency or no action is going to start to break the trust, right? They can't depend on that person to get things done in a timely manner. Now let's move over to our I's. This is influence, our yellows. And they're actually looking for connection. They're looking for a shared value moving forward, that everyone had a voice, everyone had a good time for the most part, and we hit our goal. So that means it's important during the communication and building trust with them that it's authentic, that it's open, that it's transparent, and you're not trying to hide things. It's recognizing their efforts, that they're providing value to the team, that they're a big contributor into the success of this goal. So what's going to break trust with our yellows is lack of enthusiasm, or at least some kind of purpose or excitement towards the goal. So that's more of like the cold interaction, a quick email with no kind of personality or connection in it. The other thing that breaks trust is lack of engagement. So you're doing things, checking off of the list, and there's no actual back and forth engagement. Again, I's or influence are energized by connection. So the less connection that you have with I's, the more that you're going to break that trust. S's are our supporters, and they love consistency. So if you want to build trust with S's, you're going to want to be consistent. You're going to be you want that predictability, agendas, follow-up information, so that they always know, for the most part, what is coming next and what's expected of them. Because they like to support the team, they also need some time and patience for listening, to talk through things. It means that they don't necessarily want to commit to something right now, but they want to talk through it and see if they're missing anything to provide the best value back to the team. So the opposite of that is going to break the trust. Abrupt changes without information or steps towards that change, more aggressive tone or increasing conflict in your team, and feeling dismissed, not giving them a voice. They might not voice their opinions, their ideas in large groups. So if you're not doing your one-on-ones with them, if you're not giving time for them, you're really not giving them a voice. And C's are compliance, are blues. They are logic driven. So you're talking data, details, accuracy. They need time to think and respond. They need time to research, look into the information, and ask questions. The more clarity you can bring to that information, the higher quality work and less stress you're going to get from our Cs. Because Cs like to be concise, building trust with them looks like being prepared for your meetings, being prepared for the project, saying what you do, doing what you say when you said you were going to do it. And valuing process, procedures, quality, standards, because they were put there in the first place for a reason. On the flip side of that, you can break trust real easily with high Cs when you drive on emotion, not data and details. When you're not consistent, you're not following procedures, or you're constantly working around things with shortcuts. And a lot of Cs that I saw in manufacturing, technical fields, is vague expectations. They don't move unless you have a more realistic expectation based off of something. They can't trust you based on assumptions. They can't trust a process, the next step, based on what ifs. So the more precise logic, information, and clarity you can bring to Cs, the more you're going to build that trust. Now, as I said earlier, building trust takes time, but it doesn't have to be a complete overhaul. Just in little things you do in your communication, in your one-on-ones, in your department meetings, how you assign and talk in your project meetings. These can all build trust in a way that meets their natural work styles. If you don't have DISC yet in your work or organization, please contact me to see what it looks like to engage that energy and natural productivity. Today's step matters. It's in the micro moments that real change begins. Managing your energy isn't about shame, blame, or disrupting your lifestyle. It's about the small, intentional choices to reclaim that natural energy. If this episode hit the mark for you, share with others. This journey doesn't have to be lost and lonely, but exciting and full of new paths. See you back here to continue the adventure.